Your humanitarian broadcaster.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
I know that this life is only finite. The good and the bad times will be left behind as we make our way through this journey to the finest place for infinity. Lord, don't deny me your paradise. Jannah.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
Welcome back. You are tuned into News and Views on Salam Media. It is, of course, the final hour of the show, and we wrap up at around 10 a.m. this morning. But now let's look at Durban. So, over 1 million domestic tourists have flocked to Durban's beaches this holiday season. And the mayor of eThekwini municipality, Mr. Mxolisi Kawunda, says that more visitors are expected to show up as the season wraps up. So that's what we're going to be discussing right now. In fact, we're joined on the line now by Ntombenhle Dlamini, the acting senior manager of marketing and communications at Durban Tourism, to speak about the progress of the holiday season in Durban and what exactly the city has to offer tourists. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right. So, I mean, as I've just mentioned earlier on, it's been reported that more than 1 million people have flocked to the city's beaches. How has the holiday season been progressing for you as Durban Tourism?
I'm sorry, you'll have to forgive me because I don't know whether it's my line or your line, but it's not very clear. Can you repeat that for me?
Okay, my sincere apologies for that. I just hope that the technical team can get working on that and actually find a solution to that. But in the meantime, let's just clarify. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. So as I was mentioned, as I mentioned rather in the introduction to this particular segment, it's been reported that more than 1 million tourists have actually, domestic tourists, have flocked to the beaches in Durban. So how has this 2021 holiday season been progressing for Durban and Durban tourism?
I must say we are very excited. During the lockdown, we were very busy with our activations around the country. We were, as you said, domestic. Our focus was domestic. Um, the fact that restrictions were not changed helped us a lot because we saw people coming into Durban. Obviously, our products are ready and they've been ready with adhering to the COVID protocols. So the fact that the restrictions were not changed and we're still on level one assisted us a lot as a destination. And when the Omicron was announced, we were sort of like skeptical to think that we will go to a level 4 or level 5. But with the president not announcing any change in the restrictions, it really helped us a lot. And we were projecting around 65% occupancy rates, but I must say, although these are not the exact figures, but from 15 to 20 December, there was a boom in occupancy rate with an estimation of about 80% occupancy. So we are really happy as a destination, and this shows that we are coming stronger, and we will be seeing a lot of visitors coming into Durban, and hopefully for the future with the virus and us reaching the immunity with the vaccination rollout that is currently happening. I think it really is helping.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, for the past 2 years, the tourism industry has really been one of the most hardest hit industries by the pandemic and the various restrictions that have been in place to curb the pandemic. But of course, as you mentioned, the level one restrictions this time around, the government's decision to keep us on alert level one, it is some sort of a relief to the tourism industry. But I mean, last night we received the news that the curfew is now scrapped, and that, of course, I suppose would be good news for you as a tourism industry as well.
Very good news indeed. What we are proud of is that the city, although the curfews were not uplifted in the previous month or so, what we've done is we had a first net, which is a committee that sits and then look at all the risk and ensure that safety, there is safety at the beach, in Durban in general during the festive. So increase police visibility, increase signage in terms of the COVID protocols, and making sure that the numbers, because remember, although the curfew has been lifted, we still have limited in terms of events, because during our festive season, Durban tried itself with a leading destination when it comes to events. So with that being said, we are happy because we also assist artists, and with the curfew being lifted, it means more artists will be employed in terms of the events going further into the night. So we are happy, and we are happy for the creative industry, which we utilize as a part of our campaigns, because we have ambassadors as artists, and we have them that are influencing people to come to the destination. So it was good news for businesses as well, because remember, restaurants also were also hard hit because they form part of the tourism value chain as the hospitality sector. So we are proud, we are happy as a destination, and that will help us in terms of extending our business hours with the restaurants, with the events, not closing early, and having more people being employed. Because as we are tourism, we also pride ourselves that we do have economic benefits in terms of the GDP. I mean, with the 100,000 that we've recorded as visitors coming into the city, we projected 126 million direct spend and the 350 million injection to the GDP. So with those extended hours, we're hoping that people will be able to get employment, and we are happy as a destination.
Yes, of course. But I mean, Durban has also been quite a popular destination for holiday makers for a while now, perhaps many years. But I think more lately we've seen how people are now opting for quieter destinations. Would you agree with this narrative that Durban is becoming less popular as time goes, although not rapidly, but to an extent?
I wouldn't agree. The reason I'm saying that is that people have viewed Durban as a beach destination. So when they look at the beach and they look at the numbers, we've been going out there to show people that Durban has more in terms of the spread. So people are spread all over Durban. It's just that a lot of people were coming for the beach, and now they realize that there's so much more to do in Durban when you go in places like the Thousand Hills, where you can go on a cultural village, on a game drive. It's a very scenic route as well. And then if you go to places like Umhlanga, we've got different precincts. Umhlanga with Chateau Drive leading, and then you've got Florida Road precinct, and then you've got places like the Sapphire Coast where you can actually go shark cage diving. We've got heritage routes in the north, so there's a whole lot of things to do. So I wouldn't say I think Durban is becoming popular, and people are coming back to Durban just to experience other things that we can do in Durban, because we've always been considered or viewed as a beach destination, but we are more than a beach destination. We do have other activities that one can do when they come to Durban. So I wouldn't agree that we're not becoming. I think we're becoming popular because some of the things that people do will go overseas for beach destination like Zanzibar and whatnot. But they leave their country. Hence, we were robust with the activation in the country because we've got a tropical feel. And in the whole country, our water is warm. So whether you come in July, whether you come in December, you are able to swim. So where else other places in the country, you'll find that they have the cold front coming in, and their ocean will be cold, or their beach will be cold, so people wouldn't necessarily swim. So I think we are becoming a popular destination, especially with the beach and the experiences that we offer, which is diverse.
Mhm. Now, just finally, in your opinion, what would you say places Durban on the highest spot in comparison to other destinations? What does Durban have to offer? I mean, you also mentioned earlier on, you said that Durban is a leading event destination as well.
So, for instance, we have events that are lined up for tomorrow on the 1st. There is one on the 31st, the Durban Beach Festival, which is happening at Coup d'etat. We have on the 1st, there was a Durban picnic, which is happening in Umhlanga at Beverly Hills, just to name a few. But there's a lot of events that are happening in Durban, which is sort of like enhancing the experience of the visitors. So we do have a lot. In terms of experiences when it comes to the tourist attraction, I did mention the shark cage diving, but we also have helicopter flips, which one can take from the Durban, and it's a very nice ride in terms of the weather permitting, obviously. So there's Amatata Mountain, where you can have a picnic for those romantic people that would like to propose. It's a very, very scenic and a very, very lovely place to actually do that proposal. Adventure, things to do for kids. Today we're having it's raining in Durban, but we have indoor activities that are suitable for kids that one can go to for fun. You know, movie theaters are open, so there's a whole lot of things to do for different people and different tastes. So we cater for everyone, basically.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. And for those people that are looking into booking their next trip to Durban, they can visit www.visitdurban.travel to find out our Durban Summer Travel Extravaganza specials. We've got discounted rates for restaurants as well as accommodation.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your time. That was Ms. Ntombenhle Dlamini, who is the acting senior manager of marketing and communications at Durban Tourism, speaking to us about the progress of the holiday season in Durban, as I think more than 1 million people have flocked to Durban's beaches. But as Ms. Dlamini mentioned, there's more to Durban than just their beaches. But yeah, that's where we leave that discussion for now. And in a few moments, we'll actually be speaking to Lukman Rawat, who is one of the newest journalists here to join the team at Salam Media. Really excited to speak to him and find out more about Lukman as well. But I just want to take a moment now before we move there to look at the situation in Palestine. It seems as though some more violence has erupted there. Along the border between Gaza and Israel. So there seems to be some level of violence that has erupted after Mahmoud Abbas visited Israel. Now, in this latest round of violence, there seems to be a few injuries as well. An Israeli was wounded in a shooting attack on the Gaza border. And then in return, Israel targeted a Hamas post in the northern Gaza Strip, rather. So that seems to be a situation that is unfolding there in Palestine, and hopefully it doesn't get too far. And I think rights groups have actually decried an information blackout over the conditions of injured prisoners, relatives of